Hey there everyone, Mick back again, and this time we're going through my favourite jazz new releases of 2024. And let's start off with some Fugazi members and James Brandon Lewis in them aesthetics. So for those who know Fugazi, they'll know Joe Lally and Brendan Canty on drums and bass respectively. In this case, we do get Anthony Pirog on guitar and James Brandon Lewis on saxophone on the always great Impulse label. Gave me a lot of time to come to terms with this album because I kept hearing more rock than jazz, but it definitely is a jazz album. And let's face it, if you do know my aesthetics, they do lean to that jazz side of rock. So number 20. Okay, Dance No One's Watching, the Ezra Collective. These guys won a Mercury Award with their previous album, which is a prestigious British award, and I think they would have been the first jazz guys to do it. Anyway, this album does do what its title suggests. Dance while no one's watching. But you probably should dance anyway, even if people are watching. Great UK jazz. Next up, we have Kamari Washington. Kamari, for mine, reinvented jazz in the 21st century. And this is his double album from 2024 called Fearless Movement. If you know Kamari, you know what to expect. Certainly covering a little bit of new ground, but mainly sticking to the formula, and features Andre 3000, who will feature quite heavily through my review of 2024. Kamari Washington. Okay, next up, Shabbar Hutchins, our clarinet player of choice for 2024. Once again, this one is on Impulse. And I guess my question often is, how many clarinet albums do I need in my life? But anyway, it is good to get a new one each year. Shabbar plays the flute as well, bamboo flute, and there's Andre 3000 makes a appearance. Moses Sumney's on here, Saul Williams. Certainly a new inspiration in the world of clarinet-led jazz, which seems to be a theme for this year as well. Okay, on the Cuneiform label, Tamika Reed, who plays cello. She's joined by Mary Helverson on guitar for this one, and Mary will also feature in my countdown as we head towards the finish line. On the always great Cuneiform label, and a key release of 2024. Okay, here we are, International Anthem. Asha Gamades and the Black Lungs. Fantastic cover art and packaging, and I really like how the obi just sits over, not both albums, just one of the sides, so makes a lot of sense. Quite a big performance band here, with the Black Lungs having cornet, alto, and tenor sax, trombone, percussion. There's a couple of vocalists, bass, piano, drums. Big band. Also came with some of the International Anthem style inner sleeve. So nice packaging as well. While we stay on International Anthem, Carlos, Nino and Friends. A double album. I will say this one's packaging wasn't up to the usual standard for a national anthem, but it didn't stop the music from being great. Of course, Carlos Nino features here, but we do have other supporting folk, and my favourite would probably be track 3, where Jamie Dean plays some organ. So that's Placenta, Carlos, Nino, and Friends. Okay, an old fave from Cabell Records in Wadada Leo Smith on trumpet. And this time he's joined by Amina Claudine Meyers on piano, and she does play a bit of Hammond, so I guess on keys. This one is actually on the Red Hook label, which I hadn't seen before, but certainly impressed by this pressing. Comes with a nice inner. Liner notes by John Corbett, one of my favourite liner notes writers. And there we are. There's Amina there playing her piano. Interesting concept, great album. Okay, this one's a bit unusual. It's Colin Stetson, and we all know Colin Stetson. He's been around the jazz improv scene for quite a while, but I guess this one, Colin gets his instrument to do some unusual things, and it features all kinds of new ways of interpreting the jazz idiom. Colin performs everything on solo and alto bass saxophones, contrabass clarinet, no overdubs and loops, and anyway, recorded in Montreal for the Canadian folk. Fantastic jazz invention. Okay, this one here is by Migel, Atwood, Ferguson, and it's called Les Jardins Mystiques Volume 1. Now, it came out at the tail end of 2023, and it's on the Brain Feeder label, and those who know the Brain Feeder label will know how inventive that label actually can be. Quite a massive undertaking, this album, with 4 sides of music, all inventive, jazz that certainly is at the freer end, but certainly not taxing at all. Okay, ECM makes an appearance with Vijay Iyer, and this is Compassion, and features Taan Sor on drums, who will come to feature a little bit later on in the countdown. Usual ECM quality, fantastic pressing. It's 2 LPs. VJ certainly plays that piano free and out. I did read he hasn't been formally trained in piano, but he does have a bit of a music background, which I think is probably my favourite combination for a jazz pianist, where they understand the concepts, but they haven't been tied into a lot of the classicism that does go with going to conservatoriums of music and etc. Anyway, V.J. Iyer with Compassion. Okay, this one features Matt Gustafson and is was recorded by Steve Albini, so R.I.P. Steve Albini, and this is Fire with Testament. It's on room gramophone, keeping everything in the Norwegian manner. If you know Matt Gustafson, you know what to expect. He's on baritone sax here, there's bass and drums. Certainly an out album, and one that doesn't hit the extremes of some of other Matt's work, but still enough to keep you enthralled. Okay. Kahil El Zabar's Ethnic Heritage Ensemble. Double album on Spirit Muse Records. And read a little bit from the liner notes here. The Ethnic Heritage Ensemble constantly shifts gears and tempos in a jazz blues continuum in perpetual spontaneity, reflecting more than a half century of unwavering contribution to great black music. I couldn't have put it any way better myself. Once again, a double LP. And in addition to Kahil El Zabar, we have Alex Harding on baritone sax, which some people will recognise that name. Okay, well, my favourite label of all time, and their first release to feature in my countdown. we have Charles Lloyd here. The Sky will be there tomorrow, and he's got some key people with him, most notably Jason Moran and Brian Bolade on drums. Charles does his tenor and alto saxophone dance that he usually does, and it's ably held down by Larry Grenadier and bass. Blue Note Records, can they do no wrong? They do have another great release from 2024 by Manuel Wilkins, but I don't have that yet, so I'm listening on Spotify, but certainly will get it before too much time passes. Charles Lloyd. Okay. Nia Garcia. She is fantastic inner there, and this is her Odyssey album. Nibia probably provides my favourite jazz vocals of 2024 on this album, and certainly transferred me to a place where I could appreciate some standard jazz. Comes with a fantastic booklet. Just everyone through there. There we go there. And that's the package you expect these days with albums. It's certainly something for the vinyl experience, and some great lyrics by her as well as you flip through it. Nia Garcia. Okay. Taan Sor reappears after his early appearance with BJ Iyer on ECM. This time he appears in the form of his trio, which includes Aaron Dial on piano and Harish Raghavan on double bass. Double LP on Pi Records. Taan Sor certainly leads this with the drums, and they are the prominent feature. Doesn't mean the other players are left out. If you do enjoy Taan Sor's style of drumming, this is a no-brainer. It's a must-get. Okay, we're down to the final four, and here we go with Amarias Freitas and YY. This is a Brazilian jazz record and certainly reflects that feel. We can see there we have a harpist on there, which I love. So we get some big scoring pals here with Hammond Drake, Shabbar Hutchins, Jeff Parker, and Brandy Younger. If you like Brazilian jazz, this is a no-brainer, and it's certainly not totally in the traditional vein. There's a little bit of weird there to keep us interested. On the Psychic Hotline label, who I've never heard of before, but keen to check out some of their other releases. Okay, down to the final three. This is Mary Helverson. Helverson plays guitar on this, and if you know Mary's guitar playing, it's not Derek Bailey, but it might be Derek Bailey at his utmost, most accessible. Key people who will play on this was Laurie Anderson, who provides the viola. So great release from Mary Helverson and her team on the None Such label, Cloudwood. Okay. Number two. This was so hard not to make number one, but number one is epic, so I just couldn't do it. This is Nala Sfro with her album Endlessness. Ambient jazz is how I would describe this. It could have went in the electronic section, but it's definitely jazz. So I know a lot of people wouldn't see it that way, but I certainly do. Some great inners come with it. Gives you a story, a little bit of something to take the feel of the artwork. Key collaborators include Nia Garcia, name pops up again, and James Mollison. That's Endlessness by Nala Sfro. And number one, this will be controversial. Andre 3000, New Blue Sun. This is ambient clarinet jazz and a triple album, which is a big ask. I loved it. I know this did come out towards the end of 2023, but the vinyl really was only available in 2024. Let's get that around the right way. Andre 3000 is joined by a cast of thousands. So not 3,000, but a cast of thousands. And New Blue Sun does reflect maybe somebody who has his standing in the industry, something that only he could reflect. Some interesting packaging came along with the album, in that the inners all have some artwork on them. It's a good way to not just make them the standard paper inner. Additionally, it came with a set of cards and a poster. Okay, thanks for watching my 2024 year in review of jazz new releases. See everyone soon.